Hello, this is Charizard versus Blue Eyes White Dragon, both in the card form and in the anime. Now, the pros to Charizard, obviously the anime storyline, where Charmander is basically like a child and he needs Ash, and then he grows up into a rebellious teenager, and Ash has to earn his respect as to Charmeleon and then later to Charizard. And the reason why this is really interesting is because it shows how Pokemon evolution works, at least in the anime, and why Pikachu wouldn't want to evolve because their personality completely changes. And with Charizard, it's very interesting because it's like the kid grew up faster than the parent, and it just makes a great dynamic, and it's wonderful for a children's cartoon slash story. And then you also like look at all these forms. The shiny forms are just great. Of course, the Smash Brother forms, those I'm not really taking them into consideration. And speaking of Smash Brothers, demonstrates why his aura that comes off of him. When he moves around, he feels heavy, he feels strong, despite being a short king. And he's humanoid too. He's like the perfect creature to want to like emulate. And following like Ash has to earn his respect because he's so powerful. But at the end of the day, he's Heart of Gold too. Card itself, which holds value to this day, you can't really say the same for Blue Eyes. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, the prices fluctuate so much based on competitive viability, whereas in Pokemon, of a it, hobby and like people buy the cards just to collect them. That's not always it's really not the case with Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, some people obviously do. And then for the cons, he's just overexposed like crazy. You've got two mega forms. One of them makes him like makes him into a true dragon in Pokemon terms, and he keeps that aura. The other one, I've heard people say that they want it to be his true evolution. That's crazy. He looks emaciated. He loses so much aura, and it turns him just into like a Sun Team setter. Now, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, I hate calling animals majestic, but if this thing was real, just look at it. It is majestic. And in the anime, you have the crazy backstory, which can be weird, but it adds depth to Kaiba same way Ash adds depth to Charmander. It's kind of a reverse in this situation, and I think it's a really cool and interesting story that like Kaiba's love like transcends both time and like physical being. Like it's weird, but it's really cool. Um, and then it's also very supported. And the overexposure isn't as bad as Charizard in my opinion. And if you go and something really cool about this, if you go and look at the original card art, the foreshortening on it m- makes it look like he could be a lot larger or longer, or she, I would like to say. Um, I call it he so much because Kaiba does in the anime, but it should be she. Anyways, you can see also that in here where like the ultimate dragon, it looks like it could be endless, like it's coming out of an endless portal, and that's so cool. And then you have the Charizard card art, which is beautiful, but it just looks like Charizard, you know. It's the ambiguousness of the Blue Eyes card art lends it to different art styles really well. And then the Blue Eyes alternative white dragon, just a beautiful card on top of being a very strong creature. People think that like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is just so fast and cards are just an ends to the means. It's not always the case because Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, just for being played, it destroys something, and that's power. And then it falls further, and that is why I think the Blue Eyes White Dragon is the better card. Now, for anime, I'm gonna go with Charizard. Thank you.